Hi guys and welcome. Today's project is this wood carver's mallet. I thought it would be the ideal project to put the new Rotary Axis through its paces and see how it runs. This project is based on a mallet that Frank Howarth did not make in one of his videos. If you don't know what I mean by that, I'll put a link in the description box below to where you can go and view some of his videos. They are really well worth watching. In the meantime, this is how I am actually going to make my mallet. I've started by zeroing my cutter using my tool sitting jig. I know that when this cutter lights this light here, I'm 56.8 millimeters above the center of my lathe attachment here. I also have put in this piece of Australian hardwood into the lathe. So I ran into a bit of problem when it came to getting the spur into the end of the wood here. This wood is just so hard, there is no way I could hammer this into the material. The answer to that was get it on the wood and tap it down until it left marks as to where the individual spurs were going to go in here. I then grabbed a small drill, in this case this one here, and I just quickly drilled out each of these holes here where they were marked, and then with the hammer I was able to hammer this here into place just deep enough for it to hold the wood and turn it. It's about as good as I could get it to go. This wood really is hard. Likewise, when it came to doing the other end of the piece of wood, I was unable to beat this here into the wood because again it's so hard. So the answer to that is this. It's a center drill. It's used on metal lathes. It's only a very short drill. It's double-ended. It has a 60-degree coned area here and then a small short stiff drill at the very tip of it. I just put it in the battery drill, mark center on here, put this in the battery drill, drilled my hole, and then this here can sit and run in that hole that's formed. Now with the wood chucked up in place, I can now bring the router in and bring it off down the end to set X0 position. Well, it's about here I was in for a bit of a shock. When I looked at the belt on my Rotary Axis, I discovered that it was actually very, very loose. Fortunately, it was just a problem of my own making. I had neglected to tighten up the 4 bolts holding the stepper motor in position, and the motor had just slid forward. I've repositioned the motor and retightened the bolts. The stock's now rounded off. The final dimension of this is 73 millimeters. I can now start doing the rough cut. The final dimension of the mallet will be 72 millimeters at the widest point, which will be down this end here. Again, I'm going to be using my 1/4 inch cutter to hog out most of the unwanted material here. With the rough cut now complete, I've changed my cutter to a 6mm ball-nosed bit and can now run the finishing pass. Again, I've zeroed it to my tool setter, and as soon as it touches it there, I've told Mach 3 this is 56.8mm above centre. Well, it's 1:45 now. It's about time I gave my neighbours a bit of a break before they decide to come over here and give me a break and use my own mallet to do it. We'll pick up from where we left off tomorrow. Now that I've finished machining it, time has come to do some sanding. Got some coarser sandpaper here to do around the edges here, and just in these curves here, and then fine sandpaper to do these surfaces here that are already smoothed out. And then finally in here. And that's where it's quite handy being able to make this run at a reasonably high speed. It makes sanding so much easier. You want to get right into those curves and smooth them right out. Get rid of any machining tool marks if you can. So now I've sanded the ends off here flat on both ends. Time's come now to put some sort of finish on it. So I'm actually going to use some teak oil on this. Never used it before. I thought I'll give it a try. Normally I use linseed oil on projects, and I thought I'll just try something different, see if it gives me a better finish. See what we end up with. So there we have it, the completed wood carver's mallet. I hope you've enjoyed watching it being made. In my next video, I hope to do how I created the files for use on the Rotary Axis. If you've enjoyed this video, please remember to like it. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to me on YouTube and follow me on Google+. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. I can see the neighbours are gathering. I'm off. See ya.